All right, welcome in. A little daily fix Monday. And somehow, some way, these jokers are 9-0, as the sign says right there, back in full effect. This is the Daily Fix presented by Foolish Club Media. I am your host, Ron Hughley, right down there in that small box, right where he rightfully belongs, is Steve Serta. Yes, we will have a lot to get to, Steve. What a game. We didn't know which white arms it was, but it was white arms that got it. I don't know what Kevin Harlan was thinking. Kevin Harlan, it was Mike Denna, who's been gone for 3 weeks. And Trent Green's over there thinking to himself, no, those are white arms. It was white arms that got it. So who do you think it was, Trent? I'm going to go with either George or maybe Leo Chanel. I'm not sure. I believe we settled on Leo Chanel, but he threw on his cape, and he was the one who decided to make the play that says we ain't losing. But a lot to get to. But first, if you're listening to us on Twitter, as always, we appreciate it. Please like, share, tell others about it as we try to grow this Daily Fix every day, and Foolish Club Media. If you're listening on YouTube, we appreciate you there as well. Like and subscribe and grow. And by the way, however you're listening to us, please do me this favor. Head to Foolish Club Media on YouTube, our YouTube channel, Foolish Club Media. Please like and subscribe as we are the fastest growing / slowest growing digital platform today. We are trying to hit marks. If you can, like and subscribe. And remember, if you do not do so, you're preventing my 3 children from eating. All right, a lot to get to. Obviously, the Chiefs go to 9-0, so it's heavy there. It is wild. It is wild, the standard of the Chiefs defense. I'll just leave it at that. The lucky but great conversation that we're starting to really get a groundswell of after that game, I want to address. But the first thing I want to say is, Steve, give me my 2 minutes. Whew, thank God. Thank God it wasn't Denver. That's all. That's all for me. Thank God it was not the Denver Broncos. All right, listen, I love this winning streak. They have now run this puppy to 15 straight. When you look at last year, they have not lost since Christmas, and we have entered a place where I am seeing Christmas movies start to roll up. I watched the Santa Claus the other day. As it was on Freeform, we're starting to see the Christmas movies come out, and we're getting closer to the last time the Chiefs lost. My church
I got my tree up already.
Shut up. Do you?
Yeah.
Time out. Stop the clock. Why do you have your Christmas tree up?
I got a small one last year. It just fits on the countertop, and it makes me happy. I think it's pleasant to wake up to.
That's ridiculous.
So I put it up already.
That has to be after Thanksgiving. You cannot, you wait to Thanksgiving and you put it up.
I'm in the mood already.
Do you have it decorated, or do you just have some plain ass tree that is just hanging?
No, it's got the lights built into it, and then I just have a little red and white ball thing around it, and there's a star on top. There's a little Christmas elf next to it too.
One of the real most disappointing moments in our partnership is happening right now. That you are. When did you put it up, Steve? Because it's November 11th. When did you put it up? Did you put it up when we turned to November?
It was a couple days after Halloween, I think.
Oh my God! All right, yours works. My mom, she keeps all of her decorations up until her birthday, which is February, which is early February. She keeps all the decorations up. She says she doesn't take them down until February, her birthday. Anyway, back to it. If we could get the clock again, I'm just gonna say, I am just thankful that it wasn't the Broncos. They've run this, like I said, to 15 in a row. And look, I believe now we've got all week to talk about it because things get real serious. I thought after the Niners game, hey, let's get serious. If they win coming up on Sunday against Buffalo, I think things get real serious. All right. Now you have, a home game against the Texans that, we'll see about the Texans, who have just gone 40-6, losing the second halves the last 2 weeks. 40-6. And then that all of a sudden Russell Wilson has found it again, and the Steelers look like a completely different team. Like then after you get past that, those are later in the season. But sort of, I just could not. To hell with the rivalry. To hell with how much I hated John Elway as a kid, and he always brought them back time and time again. This is to me is I just can't accept the Chiefs losing this winning streak or dropping this thing to somebody that ain't worth a damn. And I'm not going to say that the Broncos aren't worth a damn. I got to give a shout out to that Broncos defense, specifically that front seven. They are much better than I thought they were, and they were really there and gave the Chiefs problems. But, like, to me, like, I want this thing to go down. Like, hey, if they lost Sunday, I don't want them to, but I would feel better because, hey, that's Josh Allen. That's the Bills. That's on the road. They're 7-2. They're the 2 seed in the AFC. You go on the road. They're ready for this game. You've just ruined their career, their lives every single year. They've got revenge. I can see that. But, man, Steve, I can't accept them losing to the Panthers. I can't accept them losing this thing to the Browns. I can't accept them losing this thing to the Raiders. Like this thing, I need this. If this happens, I need it to be against a quality team. And listen, I know the Broncos are the 7th seed right now at 5-5, but I mean they are right, right? They're not a great team. To me, it's the Steelers I can accept. All right, the Bills I can swallow. Right, like all right, C.J. Stroud gets going and loses it. All right, I can accept, but not the damn like the Panthers, the Broncos, the Raiders, the Browns. These sorry teams they got on their schedule. It bet not be them.
It's the Panthers are kind of playing well right now. Bryce Young,
go to hell. Don't get it. Don't start it. Shut up. Bryce threw for 126 yards against the Giants yesterday.
It's spectacular.
Okay. All right, yeah, spectacular fumble that almost gave the game away in the fourth quarter. Like, let's calm down on the damn Panthers.
I think this matchup against the Bills, like I don't think this is the same Bills team, and you can poke holes in them a little bit, but the Chiefs always struggle with rushing quarterbacks. Josh Allen always plays his best against them in the regular season. So I would not be shocked if this week's matchup is the one that ends the streak for the Chiefs. And you wouldn't even be upset about it.
I'm pissed if they lose to the Broncos at home and that ends it. I'm pissed if they go to Carolina and take a dump all over the stands. And I still think they can win. To me, it needs to be, it's like, all right, Josh Allen got us. Hey, Lamar got us. This resurgent Steelers team got us. Not that. All right, I want to address what's now starting to spill out. This narrative that's being created that, man, they're lucky. They're getting lucky. We already got they get all the calls thing. And now it's God, like I was at the press box of the Texans Lions game yesterday. A couple people coming to me, oh man, look at your Chiefs. Man, they are the lucky all-stars. They find a way that they get lucky. And Craig Carton on TV, he's kind of buffoonish. He is leading the charge in this, like he has a little bad call that he runs every day on that show. Shout out to Danny Parkins, who's having to deal with him every day. But stop it. Is there do they have some things bounce their way? Sure. I think all teams do. But they are making plays. They are making the plays that gets the win. Like yesterday, Steve, he didn't just miss it wide right. It was blocked. Like it was a play made. They caved in the entire side of that line, and it was blocked. It wasn't that he shanked it. It wasn't Norwood. He didn't just miss it. It was blocked. When the Falcons had a chance on 4th down or 3rd down or 4th down or whatever that was, the Chiefs came away and 2 times defensively made a play, and Nick Bolton ran in and stopped Bijan Robinson, then made a play. Right? Rashee Rice got so open that he forced a pass interference penalty from the Bengals and made a play. Maybe old dude's feet's a little big, and maybe that was helpful. But I still believe that the Chiefs would have stopped the Ravens on a 2-point conversion if they went for it. They have made plays. Last week, they took a drive and took the ball and ran it down the throats and made plays. Like they're making the lucky thing. Get out of here. You don't get lucky. You win 15 in a row, 3 Super Bowls in 5 years and back to back. And you have injuries galore every year that we can point to. Get out of here.
I think it's easy to dismiss what the Chiefs are doing and being like, oh, they're not truly this great, even though they're undefeated still, because, you know, they've lost all these injuries. And it's like, instead of being like, yeah, they're overcoming all of that stuff and continuing to win week after week.
Oh, they just don't look right.
Yeah, like we have to talk about all of the things that make them seem like they are not the same team as before. Or we have to point out all of their flaws and instead just be like, no, this team just knows how to win better than any team in the NFL right now. And they get it done when they absolutely have to, even if it's not always pretty. And so we get this idea that, oh, like they're just lucky. It's like, no, they have incredible coaches. They have incredible players who overcome the circumstances that are in front of them. And they went out, got Hopkins. They went out, added Kareem Hunt, like made all these moves because of the injuries that they were facing. Whereas other teams just say, oh, well, we're banged up and we just don't have it this year. The Chiefs are still ready to compete for a Super Bowl. And I think still the best team in the NFL.
And listen, if you listen to the Daily Fix every day, you know we have no problem whatsoever at all addressing issues, right? And we will do so this week because, yes, there were some issues that need to be addressed from that game that could really cost them later. We will address them, but this lucky narrative, this is silliness. All right. Finally, Steve, this Chiefs defense. I think it is wild, the standard they have set, sort of, and how good they are. Steve, I'm texting you and BK through the game. Shout out to BK. Show and BK comes out every Friday right here on Foolish Club Media. Check it out. Steve, this might be, and it not might be, it at least felt like one of the worst games the Chiefs defense has played, especially when you consider the opponent a rookie quarterback, a team that doesn't have a ton of weapons. It felt like one of the worst games they've played in this like 2-year run where their defense has been dominant. And then like I'm complaining, like we're tripping. Like they gave up what? They gave up 14 points in less than 8 minutes in the second quarter. Your best corner, and we'll deal with that this week at some point, Trent McDuffie, who I thought coming into the game was playing like the best corner in football and just got torched repeatedly and was fortunate that there was some drops and some missed throws in there or the numbers would have been worse, right? Like there were just missed assignments, just tight ends and running backs just running free without anybody covering them and Nick Bolton passing off guys in the end zone to nobody in particular. Like it was some just stuff we hadn't seen. And then sort of by the time it's over, they completely shut out the Broncos in the entire second half. They don't score a point. They get 4 sacks in the game, none of them by Chris Jones. They hold the Broncos under 80 yards rushing, under 200 yards passing, and 14 total points. And it felt like this was one of their worst performances. And again, it was the reason that they won the game because the Chiefs offense didn't have to do anything but just kick field goals in the second half to win the game, right? Like it was I'm looking at him like it just felt like what is going on? 14 points, no points in the second half, under 80 yards rushing, under 200 yards passing, 14 total points. Like what in the hell?
Yeah,
this team it's just wild.
There's a couple of things to be concerned about moving forward with the Chiefs defense, like you mentioned, but they keep getting it done. Like the goal line stand that they had this season was like one of the best goal line stands I've seen this year in the NFL. And Cortland Sutton's actually had some success against the Chiefs over the last couple of years, even though the Broncos have been terrible. Like he's put up some really good games against this defense. And it's a divisional opponent, but like that just happens sometimes. That's why defense is so hard to predict in the NFL. Sometimes guys just have a bad day, or sometimes offenses just have a good formula for the particular matchup that they're facing that week.
But Serta, their bad day resulted into 14 points and none in the second half. And when you look at it, nothing was
great. The Broncos get in field goal range at the very end of the game, and they gave up that touchdown drive to the Bucs last week. Like, that's concerning, but they still made the play, the most improbable thing that could happen in that scenario, chip shot field goal, and they go out and they make it happen because that's what they do. That's what this team does week after week.
Yeah, you just brought in the Bucs game for no reason. We're just talking about this game specifically, Steve. And at the end of it, yes, they let them in the field goal range, but when you freaking look at it afterwards, they didn't get over 200 yards passing. They didn't get over 80 yards rushing. They gave up 14 points. Then they sacked them 4 times. And you would take that. Anyone would take that every week. It felt like a bad performance from them. A bad performance. It's crazy. I'm and Courtney.